Hi, my name's Andrew from Lords Electrical in Wigston, Leicester, and today I want to show you this. It's the Hotpoint NTSM1182 8kg heat pump condenser dryer. So this is one of Hotpoint's flagship models in their range of tumble dryers, and it's got an 8kg capacity. As far as the door opening itself, it's got a nice easy grip on the left hand side here. All you need to do is open the door like that. You have got a really good size of porthole. So when it comes to loading the clothes in, you're looking around 33 centimetres, around 13 inches. And when it comes to the filtration, all you need to do is just take the filter out, open it like that, and then just go and empty it. It is important to make sure you maintain the tumble dryer really well. If you don't maintain the tumble dryer very well, then you can find that the drying time can increase over time. If you have too much lint or fluff in there. Also, you can find that the actual drying ability is hampered as well. When it comes to the actual operation of it, all we need to do is just turn it on, press the button on the right hand side here. You've got a really nice clear LED display, even sings a little song to you, which is always great. You've got quite a few options around the side here. I'm not going to cover all of them at the moment, but it's just really to mention that when you turn the dial, it will adjust the time on here. So initially you might think, well, at 3 hours 9 minutes for an average dry, it is a long time, but what you will find, because it's got something called sensor dry, then what it will do, it will actually determine the moisture level and also the capacity within the tumble dryer and whatever clothes you got in there, and it will actually adjust the time depending on what you've got in there. You will find, depending on what you're putting in, that things like if you've got your jeans that wanted to go in on their own, or say a separate shirts program, then that will change the time on here as well. Now, depending on how dry you want everything, you've got something called a dryness level button. And if I select, for example, the cotton to show you this, so the dryness level, so if I just start at the bottom, the first one is a picture of a little iron, and that's iron dry. So if you were drying things like for example, a blouse or a shirt, then you might not want them completely dry. So if you leave them slightly damp, it can make life a lot easier when it comes to ironing. And then if you press the next one, that's hanger dry. And again, that means it's suitable to be hung up on a hanger, but probably not quite ready to go into the cupboard yet. That's the next one. That little symbol there is the cupboard dry. And then you've got cupboard dry plus, and that's really for if you want it absolutely bone dry, then select that option. You will see that the time does change quite a lot. So if you wanted something on iron dry at 2 hours 18 minutes, 2:33, 3:09, and then 3:44. So it does make a huge difference depending on how dry you wanted the clothes. You've also got a delay start. So if you have things like economy 7, where you've got things like cheap electricity during the night, then this is a really good idea. The more times you press it, this will just increase the start time, and it goes up to 24 hours. That's it, 24, and then it just goes back to the standard start of the program. You have got an option on here called time drying, and with this, that just enables you to set a manual time for the program. Now, I know some people are thinking, well, all I want to do is I just want the sensor dry because I want it to finish when everything is dry. But sometimes, if something is almost dry, but you might just want to, say, refresh something, so just pop it in. It might even be completely dry, but by putting it in the tumble dry, it just refreshes your clothes. So sometimes if you've been out in, say, a smoky atmosphere, popping something in your tumble dry for, say, half an hour can really help with that. But all you'll find is if you press that button, then it just increases that. So there's no sensor built into that program, so that would be on for 2 hours and that's it. But I think most of the time, then all you need to do is just use one of the standard programs, and that will just use the option where you select the dryness level. You have got the option on the right here for the cycle end, and that's just an audible noise, so that when it's finished the program, then it will actually sing a little song to you. On the right hand side here, you've got the pause and the start button. And the reason I mention about the pause button is that partway through the program, if you were to open the door, put something in and then start the program again, in theory what you're doing is you're actually starting the program from scratch. You're not pausing it, and all that does, that just resets the sensors, and then it can take longer to dry. So if that's a situation where you want to put something in there that you've just missed, then just press the pause button, open the door, pop that item in, and then press the start button again, and then it will just carry on. The on and off button is at the top there. Last one is the crease care, and all that will do is, if you've got something that's probably a little bit more delicate, then as it gets towards the end of the program, it will keep rotating, and it just really helps to avoid the creasing of the clothes. When it comes to the container, so you've got this. This is the container where all of the water is collected. There are actually two ways that you can empty the water from this unit, but this is the main one I think that people will use. When it's full, you do have an indicator on the front to tell you when to empty it, and the water just pours out of there. So just go over to your sink, tip it all out, and then that's ready to go back in. You have got the main condenser unit at the bottom, so that, if you just pull that out like that, so you've actually got the main condenser tucked in there. Recommend probably every 4 or 5 drying loads, then just have a quick look in there, make sure everything's okay, just get a brush and then give it a quick wipe out. That just slots back in like that. As far as the energy rating on this, I'll just get the energy label to show you. So the main advantage of a heat pump tumble dryer is it puts it into this class up here, which is an A++ energy rating. Now, not many tumble dryers actually go to this kind of level. That's really the main advantage of a heat pump tumble dryer. 234 kilowatt hours per annum. If you're going to be using it a lot, then that has a huge energy saving. And definitely here in the UK at the moment, energy prices are still pretty high. They have started to come down, but we are finding that people are still very energy conscious. So what I've done is I've just got another energy label from another Hotpoint condenser dryer. So this is the standard condenser and this is the heat pump. Hopefully you can see that you're going from an A++ on the heat pump to a B energy rating. And if you have a look at the kilowatt hours, you're comparing 234 to 616. So the heat pump is using a fraction of the electricity compared to the standard condenser. And you will find that the price is different, so you are paying a bit more for the heat pump, but really depending on how much you're going to use it, then the payback period should be pretty quick between the two models. There are actually a couple of ways that you can have the water to exit the tumble dryer. The first one I've just showed you, where it comes from the container. You have to go and empty it, you pop it back in and away you go. But really you're having to keep an eye on that. The other way is with the pipe here. So what you can do, if you're near to, say, a washing machine where you've got a waste that can go out, you can actually disconnect the pipe from here, and then what it will do, it will actually feed in to the waste connection next to your washing machine. And really, this could be the preferred way to go. The main advantage, it just saves you having to worry about emptying the water container. If you're thinking of buying one of these models, I have provided a link below to show you where to buy one from our website. If you have got one of these models, or a Hotpoint heat pump condenser dryer, then let me know what you think about it, because I always appreciate the feedback, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I really don't mind, I just appreciate the honest feedback. Also, if you've got any questions on it, then I've got one of these on display at the moment. It's always plugged in, ready to go. So if you've got any questions or any queries that I've not covered in the video, then just pop in the comments and I'll get back to you. All I normally say is please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you don't follow me at the moment. Give us a quick thumbs up. Thanks for joining me.